This is our last day in southern Idaho as we continue to follow the Snake River in the distance. This Idaho backcountry road less traveled is perfect for us. While the scenery appears to repeat itself over and over, it does so in ever grand and spectacular ways. Not too far after leaving our overnight stay at Bruneau Dunes, we happen upon the town of Murphy. We pull into a parking lot in town for a lunch break, and lo and behold, we are in front of the Owyhee County Historical Museum and Library. This is great. In we go. We enter the front door and step back in time to experience what life was like for the miners, ranchers, farmers, and families of early southern Idaho. There are many displays featuring historical information about the ranching and farming industry, showing its artifacts, tools, and other memorabilia. We learn about the history of the town. It was named after Cornelius Murphy in 1899. This tiny town in southwestern Idaho is likely the smallest county seat in the United States. According to the 2010 census, 97 people live here. It was a stopover for the Sagebrush Railway. Murphy was also an important stagecoach stop back in the day. Here we see a collection of medicinal products. Along with a small model of a hearse. Very interesting. And take a look at this spur collection. Simply amazing. A broad range of important elements of prairie town living is depicted here. It's music and entertainment, newspaper printing for communication, banking, electricity infrastructure, and transportation. A large garage area houses farming equipment, both old and new. One of the outbuildings contains a replica of an ore processing and refining machine for gold and silver. Fascinating.
This was dirt and gravel was shoveled in here. This.
And yet another building is currently being refurbished to show a one-room schoolhouse. This little museum covers it all, and it is run and staffed solely by volunteers from the community. Great job, Town of Murphy. From Murphy, we wander north to our overnight stop near the town of Caldwell. From there, we continue on US 26, crossing the Snake River once again, and this time crossing the border into Oregon.
Okay, we're leaving the Abundant Life RV Park and we're heading west to other parts unknown, trying to find things we didn't see before. We're leaving Nampa, Idaho.
In our first views of Oregon, we were surrounded by farmland. But not many miles later, we entered an area called the Oregon Outback. A fitting name, this land is remote. We always said that one day we would visit this remote and largely uninhabited area. We were treated to hundreds of miles of grand and wild country. And I know we're overusing this word, stunning scenery. We simply stare and soak it in. Off in the distance, we spot a fast-moving band of dark clouds. We check the temperature and anticipate going through some rain and sleet. We plan to head south at the first opportunity, but that won't be until after the town of Burns. It'll be a long way until we get to the warmer climate of California. Burns is the county seat of Harney County, with a population of just under 3,000. Burns and the nearby city of Hines are home to about 60% of the people in this sparsely populated county. Harney County is the largest county in Oregon and the 9th largest county in the United States. We spot a nice-looking mom-and-pop RV park just as we enter the town of Burns, so we settle in next to a fence blocking the wind. And just in time as the next snow squall moves in.
Rick's taking a picture of the snow.
We pull into Burns.
I'm videoing
Oregon.
you. Yep. It's 43 degrees here.
Just as quickly, the sun reappears, along with our friend, Mr. Squirrel. The next morning started out well with bright sunshine. We drive through the town of Burns, population just under 3,000. We fuel up and also spot Annie's Bakery. Well, we couldn't just pass this by, right? It's a bit late in the morning, but there's still a good selection to be had.
Quarters for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for stopping in.
Almost missed it.
Hi guys, what can I get you?
Are those bear claws?
Those are apple fritters.
Oh, even better.
What are these?
This one is maple and shredded coconut, and this one is chocolate with shredded coconut.
After leaving Burns, we are immediately back into Oregon Outback territory. Wide open spaces with high, fluffy white clouds. Starvation Ridge Road.
That's an interesting name for a road. That's supposed to be going to where that guy lives.
The barren land continues. The Oregon Outback living up to its name. We learned that U.S. Route 395 is designated the World War I Veterans Memorial Highway. Back in Burns, U.S. Highway 395 merged with U.S. 20 West, and at the town of Riley, it splits off from Route 20 to head south. We have about 100 miles to go, but we are finally heading south to the California border and, we hope, into warmer weather. There are people living out here, though. Here we passed the town of Wagon Tire. Nothing more than a gas station, store, and campground. An oasis in the desert outback. There are very few turnoffs here, but here is a right turn for the town of Christmas Valley, We're tempted to see it, but quickly change our minds when we see it is about 86 miles out and back to this same intersection. We're now passing the first of several dry lakes. The first one is North Alkali Lake. This one is a little bit larger, Alkali Lake. For many miles, we have followed a steep escarpment to our left. Our topographical map says this ridge is about 1,000 feet above the valley floor, where our road meanders. Amazing scenery. That word again. We are in the middle of nowhere, but here's a rest area. A good place as any, I suppose. Besides, it's lunchtime, and we need to get out and stretch our legs. There's not much to see here, except of course the beautiful open desert land of the outback. The interpretive sign tells a little bit about the geology of the Heart Mountain area we see in the distance, and about the ranchland history that surrounds us. We're back in the van and trek further to a much larger Albert Lake. It's mostly dry, but the feeling is of a Great Salt Lake-like environment. The road hugs the shoreline on the right side, and a 1,000-foot-high escarpment continues on our left. We pull over to gaze across this vast expanse. We didn't expect this view. After Valley Falls, the desert terrain slowly changes as we approach pine forests. We're nearing California and the foothills of the northern Sierra Mountains. We have completed the traverse of the Oregon Outback, and just south of the town of Lakeview, we cross into the Golden State. And yes, it's warmer here. This segment of the trip was everything we imagined it to be. Grand views, wide open spaces, the Oregon Outback, traveling from Burns, Oregon to Alturas, California. As we close in on our overnight in the town of Alturas, the road climbs to over 4,000 feet onto the Modoc Plateau. Alturas is unique as it is the only incorporated city in Modoc County. This town of some 2,900 residents was formed in 1901, and as this sign indicates, Alturas is an outdoor mecca for hiking, fishing, hunting, skiing, and much more. We find Sully's RV Park at the south end of town. Once again, they have a section reserved for overnighters. After setting up camp, we have plenty of daylight, and we're close enough to visit the downtown area on foot. Just a block away from the campground is the Modoc County Museum.
Closed
Unfortunately, we have arrived too late. We take a look at a large locomotive on display next to the museum and then head on into town. We're here on a late Friday afternoon, but we see nary a soul. There are a few restaurants open, but we don't see a lot of activity.
And Starbucks coffee here.
There is a hotel with what looks like a ballroom or some sort of event hall. It's closed, but we can peer through the big picture windows. A block off Main Street is the county courthouse, a grand old building. Perhaps the townspeople have started the weekend early and are off in the hills for the long weekend. Alturas, a simple place for peace and quiet.
Rolling out of our campsite in Altura, Tully's RV Park. We didn't go in it, but we took a nice walk down through the town and got a coffee. No, I got an iced coffee. You got a smoothie. So going to get some water and then heading further south.